right, my friends, good morning, or if you like watching me in the evening, good evening. This is the Dr. Sem Yankees Show and the Start Spreading the News Yankees podcast, pre-recorded, as we've been doing right now, because the amount of work and the amount of things I have my hand in right now are legion. And it's all good. It's all good, because that's what we need to do, is we need to look to the good. We need to make every day the best day it can be. So let's make today a great day. And how do you make your day great? You look around, you find the good, you appreciate the good, and then you spread that good forward. Remember, when we have love and take love and give love, when we give love to others, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. So here's the big programming note. This program itself is going to be running live. No, not live, but it's going to be running on January 24th, January 26th, January 31st, and February the 2nd. So we're going to show this show a whole bunch of times. It's going to be repeated at a couple of different time slots to basically take us through the end of January into early February, to the beginnings of the idea that spring training is upon us. And once we get to spring training, we're going to get back to it. EJ is ready. He's waiting in the bullpen, not today, but he's waiting in the bullpen for the Start Spreading the News program, which airs Monday nights at 9. I will still do the Dr. Sem Yankee Show Saturday mornings at 7. And we're ready to cover the season. But as you know, this show, everything I do Yankees related, is related to Start Spreading the News, the greatest Yankees site. On Start Spreading the News, we also said, we made a notice to our readers, we put out 3 articles every single day since 2017. And in this really quiet, morose, lack of energy period, we said for a couple of weeks we're going to cut back to just 1 article a day. Our writers are maxed out. I am, as I said, doing 100,000 different things. And so instead of creating tons of content, which all good, which was and is all good, but I don't think most people know how hard it is, how difficult, how time-consuming it is to run a Yankee site like Start Spreading the News, where we were putting out 3 articles a day, and we will again, just taking a couple weeks off, putting out 3 articles a day every single day. Sure, there's a staff of writers, a team. We work together to get this done, but primarily, most of the work, 90% of it, I would say, falls on my shoulders. Getting the articles, reading them, reviewing them, posting them, editing them, coming up with graphics, doing all of the behind-the-scenes things for article after article. And when I'm working, I do those things early in the morning and then set up the times when those articles go live. So we always promise an article at 6, 10, and 2. So I set those things up at sometimes 4 or 4:30 in the morning, sometimes early, sometimes later. Sometimes it's a couple days in advance. But by and large, you're talking about a huge commitment of time, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just making a statement. And for a couple weeks, I said, wouldn't it be nice to just take a little break? And so this show will run a couple of times, and then we'll be back. This show is also, as you know, brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. apbooks.net is one of the premier independent book publishers, a traditional book publisher who does everything the right way. They have published my outstanding novel, Scattering the Ashes. If you have not read Scattering the Ashes, your life is incomplete. Complete your life by reading Scattering the Ashes. Now, of course, I say that tongue in cheek, but it's a phenomenal book. If you read that book, it'll just bring you joy, happiness, sadness, um, great things to think about. It is, in some regards, an emotional roller coaster, but it's fun and it's written so well and it's so easy to read and it's so engaging. Scattering the Ashes. It's also available as an audiobook narrated by me. The least among them is a great Yankee book, an award winner, just like Scattering the Ashes. Most of my books are award winners. This is also an audiobook. All these are published by and through Artemisia, Roy White's wonderful autobiography, From Compton to the Bronx, my motivational book, 365.2. All of those wonderful books published by Artemisia. Go to apbooks.net to check out their great selection of phenomenal books, not just mine, but by a plethora of great writers. Also want to mention that Sunbury Books, another independent publisher, has published one of my other books. I have to find the picture. There it is. West Point at Gettysburg. It's the first of 3 volumes that will be published. And these are going to be phenomenal books. The first one is now out. Those are published by Sunbury. And of course, coming soon again through Artemisia, The Greatest New York Yankees by Uniform Number. More on that in the weeks to come. So the Yankees re-signed Cody Bellinger. It's a good move. Is it a great move? No. Is it a good move? Yes. And I wrote this the other day, for the Yankees to compete for a world championship, and let me take a step back because I have to explain this a lot. We're not talking about the Mets. We're not talking about the Phillies. We're not talking about the Pirates or the Tigers or the San Diego Padres or the Florida Marlins or the Kansas City Royals or the Texas Rangers. We're talking about the New York Yankees. Baseball, if not sports, premier team. The goal for the Yankees should not be, we're going to be 500 or better every year and compete for the playoffs and hope that things go well when we get there. That's a loser mentality, especially when you are the Yankees and you have the resources to be better than great. The Yankees should be competing for the world championship every year, not let's hope to make the playoffs and be better than 500. If the New York Jets in football have that mentality, that would be great. But the Yankees are not the New York Jets. The Yankees should be aspiring every single year for greatness. They should be putting the best team on the field, knowing that in all likelihood, that's a team that should compete for the world championship. They should not be putting out a team that is pretty good, 500 or better for decades, with the hopes that that team just might do well in the playoffs if everything goes right and everybody gets hot at the right time, because you never know what can happen in the playoffs. And we just might be good enough this year, if everything goes our way, to win it all. Do you see the difference? It is, and I don't think some people can, but it's a canyon of a difference. It's being the best. I am going to be the best. My goal is to be the best. That's all I care about. I'm going to be great. Or I might be great if things go my way. If I get lucky and things don't go well for other people, it might let me look better. Or I'm going to work my hardest to make me the best I can be. I'm not competing with those other people. I'm doing my best to be the best me. And because I'm working that hard, I should exceed what those others are doing. The winner mentality is, I want to be the best. The Olympics are starting soon. Nobody who's going to win goes into those competitions saying, I hope things go well for me and not so well for my opponents. And if they do, then I might be able to win a medal. I'll be happy with the bronze. That's not how the winners are going to go into their competitions. They just aren't. They're going to say, I am the most prepared. I am the most ready. I am the best. And I am going to do everything I can to just be the greatness I can be. I will do everything I can to be my best self. I'm going to put everything in my power to help me become the best and be the best that I am. That's the way the Yankees used to behave. We're the Yankees. No, we're not going to win the World Series every year. No, our fans do not expect us to win the World Series every year. But we're going to put the best possible team on the field so that, in all likelihood, we should win the World Series this year. And every year. That's miles, canyons, universes apart from we're going to be pretty good and hope it all falls our way. Again, the Rangers in hockey and baseball, the Pirates, the Phillies, the Mets, the Padres, the California Angels, whatever they're called, the Mariners, the Marlins, the Rays, the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Nationals, whoever. They can have that attitude. We're the Milwaukee Brewers and we hope to compete. Because that's their histories. Because none of those teams are the Yankees. The Yankees shouldn't be saying, we hope. They should be saying, we intend to be the best. And the reason so many Yankee fans, even after the Bellinger signing, are so frustrated with the team isn't just this boring, dreadful winter where they did nothing until a couple of days ago when they finally signed Cody Bellinger, which doesn't move the needle forward because it's just last year's team on repeat. It's because this has been the attitude of the Yankees for basically the last 15 years. Remember, the Yankees have won one World Series since 2001. The sport's greatest franchise has won one World Series since 2001. We're in 2026 now. They have now seen a generation of fans who don't know what it's like to see the Yankees winning World Series consistently. But not just not seeing them win, not seeing them doing everything in their power to win World Series consistently. I've said this before. Up through 2007 or 8 or so, the Yankees didn't win most World Series. They won in 2000, and then they went from 2001 to 2008. Every one of those seasons, they fell short. But as a fan, you looked at the team and the acquisitions and the deals, and you said they're going for it. They are trying. Does it always work out? No. But you had the sense they were still trying to be baseball's best team. You don't get that sense, and no one has gotten that sense, really, since 2009. We were tricked into believing that when they got Giancarlo Stanton. That's why so many people, myself included, were so excited about getting Stanton. It looked like now we're back to the team that's going for it. Next year, Bryce Harper becomes a free agent. He is as good as a Yankee because they've gone back to the ways they used to be world champions. But then they didn't do anything that next winter. And this is what they do. Yeah, we'll get this guy, we'll get that guy. We have to put a competitive team. We have to spend a lot of money, and they do. This notion that Yankee fans don't think they spend is ludicrous because Yankee fans are smart and they can see the Yankees' payroll. No one says they're not paying. We do say they don't pay smartly. We do say that if you have Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole and others already locked up to big-time contracts, you then can't say, and I said this when they signed Aaron Judge, I said if they use this as an excuse for not building a great team, it's not a great deal because it's not going to lead to world championships. But that's a different story. If you use those contracts and as a way to not get the best team, we know you're spending a lot of money, but you're still not doing the job. It's like going out to a fancy restaurant and with your wife or your family or whatever, and you say like, "We're here, baby. You can order one thing." Right, but what about a salad? Oh, no. Well, you can get one thing. And I'd prefer it be off. You can spend big on one thing. But if mom gets the prime rib, then you have to then go on to like the appetizer menu. We'll spend big. Maybe we'll get two big things. I'm going to get whatever. I'm not a connoisseur of fancy foods, but I'm going to get the fancy steak. My wife's going to get the prime rib, and you kids just we'll get you some asparagus or something. We're spending. The bill's going to be expensive. It's going to be an expensive night, but we didn't really provide what the intention was and what everybody expected when we went there. We spent a lot of money, but we were still being cheap. And that's how the Yankees operate. They spend a lot of money. Yes, they do. But they're still being cheap because they're not going all in. And Yankee fans, the reason they're frustrated is because the expectation for the Yankees, not any other team outside of the Dodgers, should be win every single year. Put the best team on the field so we can win it all every single year, knowing that we won't, but knowing that we put our best foot forward. I guarantee you, 99% of the people watching and listening to this, when they were growing up and they were in school, their parents said, "I don't necessarily care about your grades." They did. But I don't necessarily care about your grades if I know you're doing your best. They say that with the expectation knowing that most kids doing their best are going to get good grades. But they are sincere in saying that if I see you study for that exam, and I know you're working hard, and I see you every single day coming home from school, putting in the effort, and then you don't do well on that exam, it's okay. Or in that class, it's okay. I know you worked hard. I know you did the best you could. And I'm proud of you because you gave it your best. That's vastly different than, study a little bit, do whatever, make sure you get most of your stuff in on time, or, whatever you do, and let's hope, like if it's a hard test and you don't do well, that the rest of the class also doesn't well, and this is a teacher that's going to grade on a curve. And if you are pretty good on that test that everybody didn't do so great on, if they grade on a curve, well, maybe you'll get a good grade then. And that's how the Yankees are operating. They're like maybe if the league isn't so good and they grade on a curve and things go out well, we're pretty good, maybe we'll be the best of the pretty good, and maybe that'll get us to a World Series championship. It's vastly different. Vastly different. It's an entirely different way to live your life and to expect greatness. I fail all the time in so many things. And yet I'm highly successful because the goal is to be the best. I ran 27 marathons. I knew I'd never win, but I trained hard. I'm an old man now. I gave up marathoning. After 27, I think I up to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need to run marathons anymore. And it's not just the marathons. It's training hundreds and hundreds of miles over a couple of months to get ready for the marathon. And my body said, I think we're done. It's a longer story. Maybe I'll share it someday. It was an epiphany of sorts. Like, I don't need to run marathons. But every race I ran, I looked to do better than the race before. I said, I'm going to be my best self. I'm going to go out there and give it my all. And we get frustrated with the Yankees because they don't do that. They go, as long as I finish, we'll put some of the effort in. I know I should be doing a 20-miler. I know I should be preparing for this race. But, I put my sneakers on. I went out there. I got about 6. It's good. It's okay. I'll get there. I'll finish. Maybe that's the way the Pirates should behave. Look, if we can make it to the end, that's great. But the Yankees should be saying, we're going to put in all of the training, all of the effort to do the very best we can, to be the very best team we can be. And when you're the Yankees and you put that kind of effort in, you should win. If you're an elite runner and you put that kind of effort in, you should win, or at least be someone they're saying should win or could win or would win. Not, he's going to be a contender. That's not the Yankees. That's the Mets. That's the Red Sox. That's the Orioles. That's the Blue Jays. That's teams that go like this, up and down. They're not baseball's greatest team. The Yankees should be, well, yeah, they're at the top. They should be the guy who wins. He should win this race. And when we make it personal, like I was doing about me running, my first marathon was about 4:24. My next marathon was, I'd have to get my list out because when you're a marathon runner, you keep track of all this. But it was like let's see if it was 4:24. Then I think it was 4:10. Then I think I ran like a 4:08. And then with my fourth marathon, I broke 4 hours. And then I was doing like 3:51. And then I did like a 3:47. And then in Chicago, I ran 3:25:16 in 2006. Every single race, I looked to do better. And I did that for a long time. I gave it everything I had. And when I finished, I could say to myself, I did the very best I could. I didn't mail it in. And the frustration with the Yankees is they say, as you look at them, they say, we're going to go all in. And then you just look at you, you're not. You're not doing speed work. You're not going out there and putting in the miles you're supposed to. You're not getting the players. You slept through the winter. And again, not just this winter. It's been every season that they haven't put their best foot forward. They've worked hard to be very good or pretty good. And we all know that very good and pretty good are the enemies of greatness. The book Good to Great is one everyone should read. Good is the enemy of great. And the Yankees want to be good. And that's why they don't win World Series, because they don't put the effort, energy, focus, money. I'm still not saying they're cheap, but if you're spending a lot of money and there's still things that have to be fixed, you have to spend more. That's just a fact. You can spend a lot of money and still not be going for it. That's the Yankees. And the fans want them to do everything they can to be the best. And all of the fans that they sell on We're the Greatest franchise, and all of the fans that became fans when they were great, are turning away because they say, "This, you're not giving us what you promised us. You promised us greatness, and now you're giving us pretty goodness for a long time, for decades." And that's just not good enough. And again, to close, I don't think any of us would accept pretty goodness from most of the people we count on in our lives. You know, you've been pretty good. I'm so kind of satisfactorily satisfied with the pretty goodness that you did, doctor or lawyer or accountant or garbage picker-upper, right? Like if you're garbage, the garbage man comes and he's pretty good. He comes most days when he's supposed to. And he pretty much takes most of your garbage most of the time. You'd be like, that's not good enough. No, when I put my garbage out, you've got to take all of it. And if you're supposed to pick up all of it on Thursday, you better pick up all of it on Thursday. Not, sometimes you don't come. It's okay. Yeah. We wouldn't accept that from most people in our lives. Pretty goodness. Even very goodness. We expect excellence when people deal with us. We do. You're dealing with me. You better be the best. And that's what the Yankees need to deliver to their fans. My friends, it's fun. It's great. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, we're going to repeat this a few times over the next couple of weeks as we're taking a little step back. And then when we come back, it'll be spring training. And the beautiful thing about spring training is, well, it's an optimistic time. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope that over the next 2 weeks or so, the Yankees go out and make some big moves. There's still time. They can make the team better. Let's hope they do. Let's hope Brian Cashman watches this and he goes, Semendinger's right. I haven't been doing my best. And let's hope Hal Steinbrenner watches this and he goes, I need to do better. I get it. I'm spending a lot of money, but I'm not spending it correctly. I'm denying my children any meat. I'm making them eat the salad plate. They're eating the crackers that comes with the soup while I indulge in the prime rib or the sirloin or whatever it might be. Go out, be kind. Remember, this is just baseball. It doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. What matters is family. What matters are friends. What matters is being our best in whatever we do. What matters is love. What matters is faith. What matters is compassion. What matters is being good and appreciating the things around us. Being grateful. Using words like please and thank you and I love you. That's what really matters. And when those things are all in place, then we have time to complain about the Yankees. Be kind. Make your days great. Give love. It will come back to you in greater amounts than you ever gave. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Let's go Yankees.